Round 8 NRL action from the ANZ Stadium in Brisbane. It's the Brisbane Broncos at home to the Melbourne Storm. The Broncos are as per program, no changes there. Darren Lockyer will captain the side for the last week, with Gordon Tallis to return next week from suspension and Prince and Berrigan back together in the half and 5/8 combination. The Melbourne Storm also as per program, but one big change from last week. Rodney Howe returns from a 6-match suspension. It's the first game for new coach Mark Murray. It's the Brisbane Broncos up against the Melbourne Storm. Michael DeVere gets us underway. The breeze here this afternoon slightly favouring the Broncos, and it is quite strong. We're away at ANZ Stadium. DeVere with a strong kick. He's back. Here comes Rodney Howe. Led by swarming defence. Here's the captain, Robbie Kearns. 15 out from his own line. Swain at acting half. Rua now. He's tackled. That was Perenara. 20 out from his own line. This is Rua. Now he's tackled. 30 metres out. The Storm trying to get towards the halfway line. Rodney Howe with his second hit up. Last tackle for the Storm. They're 14 metres short of the halfway line. Orford with the kick. Taken by Lockyer. He's looking for a 40-20. But Lockyer and Takiri were back there safely. And so the Brisbane Broncos, their first touch of the football this afternoon. Bradley Myers. His first hit up of the day. Here's Sivanasiva. Solid defence there from the Storm, as they did last week against the Parramatta Eels. The forwards tried to lead the way. Webke, there's a very good run. He's still going, Shane Webke. Great run from the Brisbane Bronco front rower. Now Prittis. What about the tackle there from Dane Carlaw? Kearney again. He was at it last Saturday night too. Last tackle. Here's Lockyer. A spiralling bomb. This will test Guy up. He can't get there. Wendell Saylor will though. Last tackle still. Back to DeVere. Carlaw keeping it alive. Prittis. Knock on there from the Storm. 6 to go. Brisbane. That is a weakness for the Storm against the high ball, against any kick. Here's Lockyer. Walker. He's lost it forward.
6 again.
6 to go, he's ruled. There was a hand in there. Well, there's a bonus for the Broncos. Prittis, 10 metres out from the line. He'll play the ball right in centre field.
Wait here.
Referee signals 6 to go straight away. Here it comes to Carlaw. Well, he's strapped there on the right thigh. He's about 5 metres out from the goal line. DeVere, Berrigan, straight into the defence. Away from Kearney, still going. Well picked up, Prittis. Long ball to Walker. Pushes away from Lang. Has gone forward, surely to Kiri.
3 tackles, scrum. No, it was there. Oh, your blokes, not knock on. Scrum's here. This is where, right here now. Okay.
Well, I think it was an error in judgment from the Broncos. They had around about 7 or 8 attackers to 3 defenders from the Storm. They elected to throw a long pass and cut most of them out. What the long pass did, though, was give an opportunity for the Storm defence to slide, or what defence there was there. They slid very well. They scrambled, got there, and diffused the third dangerous situation early in the match.
Kearney now for Melbourne. Can't offload there. Wrapped up nicely. Here's Rodney Howe, heavily involved in the first couple of minutes. Solid tackle, Carlaw. Kept it alive, though, well. Here's Robbie Kearns, 10 metres short of the halfway line.
Stand up.
Solid exchanges in the first 3.5.
Just hold them there. Make an attempt, roll away. Make an attempt.
First penalty of the afternoon goes to the Brisbane Broncos. Scott Hill to find touch. It was a problem for them last week. It was a turning point against Parramatta, not finding touch. Here's Rodney Howe again.
Wait here.
25 out. Swain to Orford. Kearns, the 2 front rowers, heavily involved. 20 out from the line for Melbourne. Here's Orford running across field, linking up back on the inside. Geyer. Nowhere to go there. He's flung to ground. Sivanasiva in there with Carlaw. Here's Scotty Hill, 10 metres out. Danger. Aaron Mule keeps it alive. Back to Scott Hill. The defence is great from Brisbane, though. Kearns. And he's taken to ground. That may have hurt Webke. No, he's up to his feet. Orford. Kearney just standing, waiting, looking. Last tackle for the Melbourne Storm. What will they do? Orford. Grubber into the in goal, off the upright. Howe's there, but Lockyer beat him. And he's copped an accidental kick to the back or the kidneys there, Darren Lockyer. And he's shaken up a little bit.
Well, he put his body on the line, Lockyer. He didn't have any other option. The ball from Orford was perfectly placed. Lockyer had to dive into it. He had no chance. Desperation from the Melbourne Storm. They certainly weren't about to say, well, we'll make life easy for you, Darren.
His markers by. Lockyer did have the goal line dropout, so he did recover. Orford. Straight through almost. It was Rua. In fact, it was Kearns. Here's Rua now to Kearney. Kearney standing, offload back to Aaron Mule. Nowhere to go. This Brisbane Broncos defence is swarming. Orford now, 10 out. Howe, back to Orford. Scott Hill. Bradley Myers is there to make the tackle with the assistance of Berrigan. Howe again. Straight at Sivanasiva. Ball on the ground, picked up well by Matt Rua. Last tackle for the Storm. Comes to Orford, running across field. Here's a great ball to Perenara, and the Storm have opened the scoring. 6 minutes of play, and it's Melbourne 4, the Broncos 0.
And great attacking play by the Melbourne Storm. A little bit of indecision by the Broncos on their own line. I think it was Sivanasiva and also Scott Prince. Clever running by the ball by Orford. You could just see that Prince, well, he got stood up. He wasn't sure whether to move up or not. De Beer on the outside, caught flat-footed.
Yeah, that was the problem. Scotty Prince not moving up, getting up in the line. But it was very, very good work by Matty Orford to go across on the angle and pick up the straight runner.
Little trouble for the number 7. And so the Melbourne Storm, Mark Murray has to be pleased with the start. They lead by 6 points to 0. Now with Bradley Myers. Tackled strongly by Swain. Prince, Berrigan, Lockyer. Juggles it, throws it on the ground. Walker.
No, didn't touch it.
Referee says it didn't touch Walker's hand. And he's picked it up. Takiri. Takiri. Maybe we need to see more of Lottie Takiri and Wendell Saylor. Add a bit of spark to the Broncos. Here comes Carlaw breaking a tackle. Almost through. Scott Hill, the man that missed him. Last tackle. They come the short side. Prittis with the kick. Geyer under pressure. So too by. Wendell leaps high. It's in the in-goal area. De Beers put his hand on the ball. We're going to go to the video referee.
Yeah, we'll just see what came off there, that's all.
Just checking to see whether the ball was knocked forward.
We'll just have a bit of a check. Yeah, that's what I'm having a look at.
And I've got to say that if this is a Brisbane try, I'll be pretty surprised when you're having a look at guys like Marcus Bai and Wendell Saylor jumping into the air. One fellow standing at around about or just under 2 metres. 6'4" in the old terms, and because Marcus Bai on the old scale, I suppose, will be about 5'9", 5'10". Very surprised me to see Wendell get over the top of him. The ball's come forward. Has it come off Wendell or off the back of Marcus Bai? I probably thought it was a knock-on to start with. Both leaped very high into the air. And I think it's come off the back of the head of Marcus Bai, but I don't believe that the referee is going to be able to confidently call that there was no hand involved from Wendell Saylor. I'm not really sure. This angle may shed some new light on it. But I think that ball has definitely touched Saylor's hand.
Yeah, it's a tough one. And interesting to see what will happen, because would they take the advantage to the attacking team? And play the
benefit of the
that way?
doubt. Benefit of the doubt. I just don't know that there's enough evidence to suggest that it should be a try.
Well, there's Bai's hands. He's the one that is sticking up. Another hand comes in from Geyer. but I still think that the ball's come off Sailor's head at some stage there. Brisbane players, they're not all that confident about it. They've walked back to about the 40-metre mark. They've had a peep up at the replay on the board.
Here's the decision from John Gosha. No try, knock on. Another set for them. Got to fourth tackle last time to Keary. Well tackled, Stephen Bell. Lockyer acting half to Webke. What a tackle from Rodney Howe and Danny Williams. Here's Berrigan. Dummies to Burns, goes himself and scores a great individual try. They held off the Storm and they've paid the price. The Broncos are back to within 2.
Sustained pressure from Brisbane. The reason behind the crack in the defence, whilst we're paying credit to Berrigan, it's very important not to forget the roles played by supporting players on the inside. There were 2 of them. And you can see 2 of the Melbourne defenders went to them. We've just seen a try, Brett, from the bloke that's about to be named Queensland State of Origin halfback.
Yeah, certainly he's playing very well. And as you say, you've got to give credit to the support players because they held the defence back on the inside. He was able to hold the ball up, scoot through, and had too much skill and too much speed.
We're all locked up at the ANZ Stadium. It's the Brisbane Broncos and the Melbourne Storm. That's 6 points apiece. Knocked off a hand of Melbourne. Was it played out? Picked up by Orford. And he's going to race away and score. Here comes Lockyer. He dummies and scores in the corner. We'll go to the video. Or is he going to award the try? It's a try to the Melbourne Storm.
Well, there'll be 2 very controversial points to the try. One, around about 2 minutes ago, when a Melbourne player was around about 8 to 10 metres offside. Around about 8 to 10 metres offside when he ran in to pick a ball up. The referee quite correctly called that he knocked the ball back, but the player that picked it up was at least 8 to 10 metres in front. No chance whatsoever that a Melbourne hand propelled the ball forward on that occasion. A sprint to the line. Wolford, a chance to show his speed. Lockyer covered a fair bit of territory to get there. But some of the Broncos players were claiming that there had been a knock forward. There wasn't. I think it was just the extra pressure on the tackle that forced the ball to be knocked back from a pass from Luke Prittis. They were pretty happy a while ago, Brisbane supporters. We've got dismay at the moment.
There's the task in front of him. He's got up off the ground and kicked the goal from touch. An amazing kick from Matt Orford. Went left, then right and straight through. 12-6 the Storm over the Broncos. Rorty straight through. Stumbles, throws the pass to Bell. He keeps it alive to Marcus Bai, and he's knocked it on, and that'll see us go to half-time. Pretty impressive first 40 minutes of football from the Melbourne Storm. And it reflects on the scoreboard. At half-time at ANZ Stadium, it's the Melbourne Storm taking a 6-point lead to the break. They lead the Broncos by 12 points to 6.
Short kick, that's an unusual start.
Brisbane, first possession of the second half, running right to left, and Prittis has lost the ball. It's had been stolen.
Pulled out. 2 in the tackle, pulled out.
Here's Shane, behind Carlaw, does well. Away from Kearney, no, grabs him by the boot. And go right, Shane Walker to De Vere. De Vere is tackled 40 metres out from the Storm line. Webke straight forward. Now it goes back to Prittis, keeping it alive. Into Yawn in space. Berrigan, he'll get number 2. It all came from a Shane Webke run, and Sean Berrigan has scored his second for the afternoon, and the Broncos are back to within 2.
Well, Berrigan's got his name in the paper, and rightfully so, for a terrific sprint to the line. He You bet your life that you'll see plenty of these teammates going straight across to Shane Webke. Once again, a Chris Walker tackle forced a mistake from Melbourne. A couple of tackles later, it was Webke in one of his trademark charges up the middle. A clever right-handed offload while on his way. Berrigan practicing sprinting for probably a month's time.
This is great work by Shane Webke. Something we've come to know that he does consistently in the game. A very good ball by Prittis. They've got to say, Sean Berrigan positioned himself perfectly to run into that gap. So plenty of pace.
One of the players we highlighted before the game, one of the Broncos' young guns, Sean Berrigan. He's come up with a double today. One an individual effort and one that was set up by Shane Webke and delivered to him beautifully by Luke Prittis. And he pinned the ears back as Michael DeVere. Will he level it up? We've already had 2 draws so far this weekend. I know there's a long way to go. But what are the odds on 3? The Broncos, it's a different side in the second half. They've come out and Webke's led the way.
Plenty of pressure on DeVere. Interesting looks on the Melbourne Storm players' faces too.
He struck it pretty well. He's just hooked it. Just missed to the left. So the Storm hang on to a lead. 9 minutes into the second half, and it's Melbourne 12, Brisbane 10. No fullback at home as Walker from acting half. He's making the tackle. First penalty.
Got to come back.
Well, inside the 10. Now it comes to Lockyer. Quick tap. Here's Prince on the outside of Kearney. Goes for the corner, and Prince has scored. The Broncos are in the front for the first time in the match. The second of the young guns gets his first try of the game, and the Broncos lead by 14 points to 12.
Well, the Storm just run off their feet at the moment. Got to admire their talent, their discipline, the way that they're sticking to it. But the penalty just catching them off guard. They were expecting a kick. Clever work. Disappointment written all over the face of Stephen Kearney. He's been one of their best all afternoon. Brett, they take them by surprise.
Well, they certainly did. You see them do it quite often, but we see a little man up against a big man, and not just little, but he's very quick, as we mentioned before the game. He knows how to score tries, knows how to run with the football, and it was a perfect example right there.
Second try for the season for Scott Prince. Michael DeVere has the conversion attempt from the far side of ANZ Stadium, 20 metres out. Tough kick.
There's a Storm team, Mark. They were out on their feet a couple of minutes ago. They had 3 or 4 players sitting down, struggling to get back to the feet. And you could just see Stephen Kearney in his attempts to get across in that cover defending tackle. The fatigue that was taken hold of his body at that stage, simply through the pace of the game.
1 from 2 this afternoon for DeVere. Attempt number 3 from touch. It's coming around. He's kicked it from touch, Michael DeVere. And that could be a killer for the Melbourne Storm. It's only for the diff, but it will give the Broncos a huge boost. 16-12, Brisbane over Melbourne. Here it is again.
That's a wonderful talent to have, a goal kicker.
Lucky not to give away a penalty. Now Bell tries to go back towards the centre of the ruck and is tackled 28 metres out from his own line. Brisbane still lead by 4 inside the final 13 minutes. Bowden knock on from Fatawira, and he can't pick it up as Brisbane knock on also.
First one that way, no advantage. First one against Melbourne. This way. Yeah.
Well, whilst they become known, Mark, as a team that are very clever attacking this way. I'm not sure whether it's the right thing to do. As soon as they get possession, it's only one tackle into their count that they're trying to do it. It must be remembered, of course, that they've just come off a very trying set of 6 defending against Brisbane, who have stretched them from one side of the field to the other, have increased the speed of the game. So they've got to understand that they've got to get a little bit of field stability before they make sure that they go tipping that ball up.
Myers now for the Brisbane Broncos. High looking tackle there. The referee says no. Robbie Kearns the man involved. Now Sivanasiva. Brad Myers is about to come off for the Brisbane Broncos. Another penalty right in front.
Way too late. You're flopping. Back up here. Back.
Luke Prittersen raced to pick the ball up, just put it into reverse like a turtle, grabbed himself another 2 metres closer towards the post. I don't think it's going to be all that influential. Here comes the flop from Bowden, number 16 jersey over the top. Gee, well, as illegal as referees have made that, I think there's probably been 30 or 40 of those throughout the course of the match. It must be a very difficult game for Mark Houghton to referee both of these teams, trying to slow it down as much as they possibly can.
Could have had the opportunity though early, Wally, to blow a few penalties and stop them doing it.
Well, Mark, that's the thing. I mean, he's been a little bit, well, not inconsistent, but he's been a little bit slow in acting on any discrepancies that we've seen. I mean, the 10-metre rule, I think, as Wally's been saying all day, is that both sides have been inside the 10, and it doesn't help the side. It doesn't keep the game flowing. The referees fail to adjudicate on that.
Michael De Vere 2 from 3. Career 68%. 2001 68%. Should increase it a fraction here because this one's right in front, 20 metres out. The last one he kicked was from touch. And sometimes these are harder because everyone expects you to kick them.
Especially when the commentator says he should be able to do it.
Backing in though.
Hit the crossbar.
It's now a 6-point ball game at ANZ Stadium. The Brisbane Broncos lead the Melbourne Storm 18-12, and we've got 10 minutes of play remaining. Chance here for the Storm, 4.5 to go. They're 20 metres out. They need a converted try. Robbie Kearns, great run straight through. He's 5 metres out. Prittis missed the tackle, so too Berrigan. Now it comes from Danny Williams to Orford. Scott Hill, they've got the numbers here. Guy goes for the corner, inside to Mule. Mule throws the pass that didn't need to be passed. It's gone backwards, says the referee. Now Scott Hill in possession. 5 metres out from the line. Plays it back. Swain, they go left. Kearney. Offload to Orford. 3-on-1. Marcus Bai for the corner. Scores.
Well, there didn't look to be too much wrong with it. As Bai dived, he's got no doubt whatsoever that he's posted this ball down. Some panic. Passing that has really led to this try. Have a look at this one from Kearney. Flick it out the back. It went perfectly to his teammate Orford, who tipped another one out to Bai. He looked like he got in the corner fairly comfortably. There it is out the back. He took out 3 defenders in that movement as well. Saylor coming in off his wing. I don't think he had too much of a choice on that occasion. Well inside the corner post. Confusing to see why the decision wouldn't be made straight away. It was a little bloke that managed to kick the ball a great distance for the last conversion from the sideline from the Melbourne Storm. The weight of the world is on his shoulders yet again after the green light.
The try to Marcus Bai, and from touch, Matt Orford with the conversion attempt. And there's Marcus, 18-16. This is for a draw at least for Matty Orford. He's kicked one from touch today, Wally, just on half-time. Same side of the field, left-hand side, and he kicked one last week against Parramatta as well.
He did it fairly well, and I'm sure that Brisbane officials will be very disappointed in the way that they've approached the last 4 to 5 minutes of the game. When you're 6 points in front, you don't tend to take too many chances. They threw some pretty ordinary passes, which resulted in a turnover that gave Melbourne the opportunity to square up the match. Possibly the third one for the weekend. Melbourne supporters, they might have some here today, but I can tell you what, they're outnumbered at the moment.
It was 18-all here at ANZ Stadium last year. This will make it 18-all in 2001. It's on its way. He's missed it to the right. 2.5 minutes to go. And Brisbane 18 lead Melbourne 16. Here's Lottie Takiri. This should be tackle number 4. 15 seconds to go. They've just got to find touch with the kick on the last tackle, the Broncos. Although they should have time with 5 seconds to go just to run it, and it will be full time. Here's Walker. He does so, and that is full time. And there it is. Mark Oaten signals full time at ANZ Stadium. And the Brisbane Broncos have come from behind at half-time to defeat the Melbourne Storm by 18 points to 16.